Nikola Jokic, he put up an incredible performance, just an all-time great performance. 60 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, was absolutely phenomenal. But it was a mental breakdown by Russell Westbrook at the end of double overtime that spoiled Jokic's 61 points. And we got to look at this because this was a play in Russell Westbrook that absolutely kind of epitomizes what the Russell Westbrook experience has been like for the last couple of seasons. They have a chance to go up 3. Russell Westbrook, a 2-on-1, and he elects to not give it to Braun. He shoots the layup, and he misses the layup. And then it gets even worse. He misses the layup. The final 11 seconds for Russell Westbrook. Missed the layup, fouled on a 3-point attempt, and the Nuggets lose. It was terrible. And what makes it even worse is that Russell Westbrook, yes, you missed the layup when you should have passed it. Yes, you should have just dunked it, but you sulk. You're feeling sorry for yourself. You're thinking about it, and you had not getting back on defense, and it leads to you fouling on a 3. I should also note that was just on the 2-on-1 situation right there. You can't miss that if you're Russell Westbrook. Lakers fans are happy. This is probably the best thing that Russell Westbrook has ever done for the Lakers because it helps them. And it got me thinking, this is probably one of the worst closing 10 seconds that we've seen in the NBA in a long time. The one that comes to mind the most for me is J.R. Smith in 2018, holding onto the ball the way he did. And you had the famous LeBron meme there in the finals back when LeBron dropped that 51-point game there in 2018. But yeah, one that also comes to mind, if you remember this, 2007, Michael Ruffin, he just threw the ball in the air in 2007 in a game against the Raptors, and Morris Peterson, he caught the ball and he made that shot and that sent it to OT, and then the Raptors actually end up winning that game, but that was pretty bad. I will say LeBron James had his own choke moment last week against the Bulls where he didn't defend. He gave up the inbound pass. They get the 3 and the Bulls, they end up winning, but still, let's not bear the lead here. The big takeaway here is Russell Westbrook, if he's going to play for the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs, you can't have moments like this. You've got an all-time great superstar, Nicola Jokic. Are the Nuggets really going to trust Russell Westbrook down the stretch in these games? Because that is going to be ultimately what decides what the Nuggets do, is can Jokic get enough help around him? Can he get enough help around him to make a playoff push, to make some noise in the playoffs? Because you look at that game, it's a 140-139 game. It's a 140-139 game. And Jokic, he proved last night, once again, why he is still the best player in the NBA. He's the best player in the NBA. And the reason I say that is because, look at this season. He has the first 30-20-20 triple-double. He had the third 60-point triple-double in NBA history in the same season. Give the man his 4th MVP already. 61 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 31st triple-double of the season. Most points scored by a single player this season. Most points with a triple-double in NBA history. He played 53 minutes and didn't sit the entire half. If the Denver Nuggets did not have Nikola Jokic, they'd be a lottery team. They'd be one of the worst teams in the NBA. But because they have him and because of how great he is, they have at least a puncher's chance in the playoffs. And as great as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been, he is someone that has put together an MVP season. And in most years, he would run away with the MVP. But I want to be the first to say it. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who has a big lead when it comes to the betting odds, when it comes to the straw poll, because of the wins that the Thunder do have and having the best record in the league, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins the MVP, I'm putting an asterisk by it. It's an asterisk MVP for me because there's not one person that can say that Jokic is not the best player in the association. The truth of the matter is Jokic can put up SGA numbers, but SGA can't put up Jokic numbers. If you put Jokic on the Thunder, they probably have more wins than they even do now. So I like SGA. I think he's the second best player in the NBA this season. But after what we saw last night, how can you not give the 4th MVP to Nikola Jokic? But here was Anthony Edwards after the game talking about it. And I think if Anthony Edwards had a vote, it would be pretty clear who it's for.
That might have been the best game of my life, like, that I've been a part of. Nicola Jokic, bro. Oh my God, he might be the best basketball player I've ever seen, like, close up. Besides myself, bro, he's incredible, bro. The MVP race is tough, man. I don't know. He had 60. That was crazy. Hoping he missed. It was at one point we was just like, bro, we hope you missed, bro. Just, because trapping him, he wasn't trapped. Like, he good. Hats off to him, man. For sure.
So, yeah, absolute incredible performance by Jokic. But I do want to, I felt the look from J-Rob over there when I said what I said, but now make your case for SGA. I clearly, well, let's see. What do you think SGA still should win the MVP?
The only issue that I have with you said is they would win more games in Oklahoma City with Jokic instead of SGA. And the only reason I push back on that is because D-Mac, they were without Jalen Williams for a stretch this year. They were without Chet Holmgren for a stretch this year. And they are well above everybody in the West. So I do want to give SGA his flowers for what he was able to accomplish. But I said this earlier on the show, in an earlier episode. I mean, if they pick Jokic, I cannot be mad at it. Even as incredible of a season as SGA is having. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. D-Mac, I got to admit, I'm ready to go to the point where Jokic is at that Kareem, Shaquille O'Neal. He's in that territory. He's going to be in those Wilt Chamberlain conversations. I think he's one of the 4 or 5 best big men I've ever seen. I think he has surpassed Hakeem Olajuwon at this point. I think he is really pushing the Tim Duncans of the world. Like, he has maybe some work left to do, but he's incredible. And so if they win this game last night, I think he pulls the MVP voting. Russell Westbrook, I mean, SGA is going to have to give Westbrook a lot of wine for the next few years. Because I think this game,
that's a good point.
Really,
once a Thunder, always a Thunder, right?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for me, and you mentioned, I think Kareem's in his own tier, 6 MVPs most all time, 10 first team All NBAs. The most impressive stat for me for Kareem is 14 years apart from winning a Finals MVP. Yeah. But I think you're absolutely right. He is at that table with Duncan, with Hakeem. Shaq, I think, at his peak was just so dominant. Wilt so dominant. But what he is able to do in this era, you talk about guys that dominate their era, and they're playing by the rules in their era, right? I mean, would Jokic do this with the style of play in the 70s and 80s? Probably not, right? But as far as taking advantage of how this era is played, it's absolutely 100% Jokic. And I think, look, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the thing is, his MVP season, I just want to point this out because I hope it doesn't sound like I'm slamming SGA. No. His MVP season is even better than Russell Westbrook's MVP season, where he averaged a triple-double based on the advanced metrics, right? His MVP season is better than a lot of MVP seasons that we've seen in the past. Yeah. It's just, holy crap, this guy's a monster.
Yeah, the problem is like, he is having one of the best seasons of his life, while somebody else is having one of the best seasons of his life. Like,
for sure,
they're both doing better than they are last season statistically, and it is so neck and neck that it's insane that they were able to outdo the output that they both put together a season ago, where we're literally splitting hairs on this MVP award.
Yeah, and if I was SGA, I would say, hey, take the MVP. I want to go farther in the playoffs. But you never know how many opportunities you're going to get to win that award. But just an outstanding performance by Jokic and Westbrook. Just, you guys know how much I love Russell Westbrook, but that was not one of his finest moments.